Hey, we're going to do a real quick video of the Build Your Own Clone Parametric Overdrives. This isn't really to try to play fancy and make something sound good. It's mostly just to give you an overview of the features of this pedal. On the right here, we have a kit built to stock od-05 specs, and on the right here we have one that's been slightly modified. Obviously the first thing people think of when they see the od-05 is the parametric mid-range, or not mid-range, but the parametric tone control. But what I think really makes this pedal special is how transparent it is. So if you're one of those people that judges how good an overdrive is by how transparent it can be, you should probably check this overdrive out. So I've got this dialed in to sound as transparent, as close to your bypass signal as I can get it. This is the volume knob, so I think I might have bumped the knob, and so this was a little bit off. So let's try that again. So there's just a tiny little bit of loss in the low end when you get down to the lower strings, but in the upper strings there's really no difference there. So that's really close to being perfectly transparent there. The only other place where this pedal kind of falls short for me is this is the drive knob. I've got that as low as it can go. So that's another place that's a good place to mod it, is so that you can get it cleaner. So I'll go ahead and show you what the sweep of the frequency knob here is. This is the frequency and this is your boost and cut. So I'm going to go ahead and back off the volume, turn up the drive here. And so let's go ahead and boost the frequency so you can hear the sweep. We've got it full boost, and then we'll do the sweep. And then when we cut, this is what it sounds like. And then we got the Q switch here. So this is narrow, medium, and wide. And so the medium would be your stock settings for the od-05. So this is built to od-05 specs. Here's one that's been slightly modified. So the first thing I did in here was decrease the size of the input capacitor. Oh, let's go back to the original one real quick. We'll just kind of set the EQ relatively flat. We'll turn down the drive a little bit. the low end on the od-05 is a little flabby. It could be tighter. One mod is to decrease the size of the input capacitor, which lets less low end in. So that tightens up the lows, but you also lose some lows. So we tighten that up by decreasing the size of the input capacitor, but then we compensate for that by modifying where the overdrive happens. And this circuit is it's like an incomplete rat that's been modified as a tube screamer. So we just add two components in there, and you basically get a rat circuit with tube screamer like clipping. I don't know if that makes sense to any of you. Some of you probably understand what that means, but the bottom line is you get tighter low end, and we don't lose any of our low end. So I think I've got this dialed in so that it'll be perfectly transparent. It's a little bit louder. Not losing any low end there, and then you can hear this is how clean it is. I also did a modification here to make it give it the ability to get cleaner. So this is what the bypass signal sounds like. So it can get perfectly clean, and then I mean, if you want a clean boost, it still has quite a bit of boost on tap there. And then with that rat mod, it also increases the amount of gain that's available on tap there. So that's a cool thing. It's a win-win. You get more low end, tightens up the low end, and you get more gain. So really cool mod there. Like a Marshall crunch, where I'm cutting a little bit of some frequencies, and I don't really know where that is. Probably about, I don't know, 800 hertz, 900 hertz. I like a wider Q. But if we're gonna boost the mids, I tend to go with probably more of a medium Q. And then another thing I did on here was I did one minor clipping mod. I made it asymmetrical. Not really that much different from the stock clipping. So on this one I made it tightened up the low end by increasing the input capacitor, gave it more low end and more gain by doing the rat mod, and made the minimum gain, made it so it can go all the way clean, turn down the drive all the way clean, and then one small clipping mod. So just a few mods, and you can make this a really, really cool overdrive.